Next year we're going to be a large band.
Now, when we look at both the drawings and we see some of the masks, I mean, clearly this washing was white.
Purely, yes.
There are those who say carnival is color.
Correct.
How do you meet those statements?
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I don't think carnival is anything but what you want to make it. There were blue devils for many years and were just only blue. There are minstrels that were black and white. I mean, so carnival is anything what you make it. And my whole aspect of carnival too is that there must be a story in it and there must be theatre in it. Minstrel did it in a fabulous way. And I intend to continue doing it in that sort of way as well.
So it's a street theatre for you?
Very much so.
You've mentioned minstrel a few times, and I know you must get asked all the time, but I have to do it for our viewers as well.
You wouldn't be normal if you didn't.
I know. I promise them everything, so I have a responsibility.
Yes.
What is your relationship to his mask? How do you see yourself relative to him and his would-be followers who seem to have no Pied Piper?
Well, we actually had a lot of his followers in my band this year. A lot of people, and they came outright and said, we're minstrel diehards, we play minstrel many years, and it's the only thing we could see ourselves playing it now. I admire him very, very much as an artist. I mean, as I told you, I was accepted to design school and I couldn't afford it as a kid. So I grew up with teachers of himself and Bailey and Barclay. And actually a lot of people say that they see a lot of influence of both Minstrel and Barclay in my work. Yet it may be a little bit macabre as what Minstrel may have had, but then you still find a little fine beading or little working that you might see into the mask. So there's little, because these are the people that I have basically studied under and worked under, when I say worked under privately. So there's a lot of influence in my work, and I don't regret saying that, and give him great honor.
Was there ever any intention on your part to specifically to fill the void left by him not bringing costumes the last 2 years?
No. I definitely think that I'm doing my own thing. I know that people still somewhat compare, and I suppose because it was all white and Minstrel has done some more white things, it's even more to make a comparison than ever. But most people, after asking the question what you touched, I would ask, the person who's in the do you find any of the costumes resemble anything Minstrel has done? And basically all of them would tell me, no, the costumes actually aren't anything they've seen Minstrel do. So it has its own identity, for sure.
So were he to bring a band next year, there's still room for yours as well?
Yeah, because just when you said about a void, and I really hope there's no void, I really hope very much that Peter will come back with a band next year. I think it'll be fabulous to know that there are at least 2 wonderful artistic bands on the road.
So did you have a king and queen this year?
Yes, I had both king and queen. The king was Prince of Deliverance, and actually it's based on Asian mythological being, and he is a Garuda that has taken his people through evil to good. And he did that by retrieving the water of life from this mountain and washing evil in this water and setting his people free and turning everyone who was evil into good. And it's like half man, half bird, yeah. So this was a king, and he was actually taking us, the Blue Devils, through that element of evil into the transition of good, which was the following day on Tuesday.
How do you choose the man who plays that mask?
This was Farid Cavallo, who had actually done a King 4 for like 2 or 3 years prior, where he had come like second, third before. So he, from the time I heard I was doing a band, he approached me.
And you had a queen?
I had a queen as well, La Belle Espoir, which meant the beauty of hope. And she was all regal. She was basically Mother Earth with an all-seeing eye, and she was shedding tears of joy, seeing that her people had come to be cleansed, to be purified, and looking for a new beginning in life. And there were 2 side pieces that went up in the air. Again, no wheels off of her back. And they were all like human souls that were reaching for a higher, new beginning.
What about your music? I mean, when you choose music to
So
do...
glad you asked about that. Our music was fantastic. We had maybe too much music this year, but we had a great music. We had Surface Band with Tony Prescott. We had DJ Sin with 2 DJ trucks. One was a little more laid back, and one was really jamming and pumping. And then we had the Lavatal Rhythm section, who just won the rhythm competition. So we had top people there with us. And we had Malik Tassa Group, and we also had Tripolian Steel Band. So we had every aspect of Trinidad Carnival music on the band.
Now, although you were in medium, I understand that you did have some of the domino effect of what large bands were doing on the day in terms of changing routes, congestion. Tell me something about how that affects the
And I'm glad you asked
masquerade.
about that, because I was told that we broke rules. We didn't break rules. Now there's a route that's set out for all bands prior to Carnival, which everybody has to adhere to. and there are emergency routes off of the main route, which it's all dotted in red line emergencies and yellow lines, so you have your map. So that if there's a problem, you can go onto the emergency, but you cannot go unless you have permission from the center in the savannah. So anytime, like when we came out of Piccadilly and we got stuck behind one of the large vans going into the savannah, we realized we would have had to wait 4 or 5 hours. I thought it very unfair to our masqueraders, so we should get back on the move. So we got permission through the react person to the center that we could detour onto the emergency route, which we did. But at any time we did move, we did get permission to do that.
So that the whole time you were on the road, you can't be playing mass. Because if you have to be in communication and changing
people came up
routes
to me at the end of the both days and said, "Oh, we had such a fabulous time, best carnival. You don't agree?" And I'm saying to myself, I had much better carnivals than this. But you know, there's a love for doing it, and there's a love for seeing people have a wonderful time, and that spirit is in me now. So I continue to probably have some awful carnivals, but make sure people have wonderful carnivals.
Good for you.
So, you know.
Thank you very much for
You're
sharing
most
that joy
welcome.
with us today.
You're most welcome.
And we look forward to seeing you next year.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Music intoxicating night, feeling night inside of the carnival. It's more beautiful to see. Live to love 'cause we love to live. Life is short, come give. Gravity is a lie. Come on and fly, 'cause music makes me I. Fly far west, we go end up east. Circle the world with love and peace. Waste no time, liberate your mind and lift them voices high. I'm feeling high inside of the carnival. Music intoxicating now. Feeling high inside of the carnival. It's more beautiful to live singing, yeah. Clear the way.
Breaking 10494, this is the big truck passing.
Yeah.
Basically, Marshall immortalized the big truck situation, and that honk was the immortalization of big truck. We can go back even before my time, actually, before the big truck, when musicians walked on the road. So the big truck was non-existent then. It was just musicians walking on the road.
Walking on the road alongside masqueraders.
Yes, they were walking, just playing, and masqueraders around them.
How do you amplify that song?
No, it was amplified. The drums.
So you had to stick up close next to the drum man to get a little beats?
No, remember, in those days, no amplification. So in other words, if you bring a horn section in the road now and remove all the noise from amplifications, the bands are loud. So as the surrounding noise got louder, you had to amplify it to compensate.
Okay.
So it started from that. Then it went to the noise in surrounding areas got louder, so the guitarist walked with a pram and put his guitar amplifier in a pram or onto a pickup. The instruments gradually moved. Instruments first and then the musicians. And then they gradually, piece by piece, they went onto the trucks. But the big change took place in the early 80s, 1981, 80-81, in the advent of quote-unquote the big bands, Fireflight, Song Rev, Chandelier, Blue Ventures, Calian.
But what made you even start going on the road with that? I mean, where did this idea come about to move the band from the venue?
Because it's the same people in the fetes and the same people in masqueraders on the road. So what you do is basically take that same vibe from the parties onto the road.
Was this the same thing that DJs were doing as well? I mean, were they also looking to up their PA system?
Yeah, everybody was upping, but it was easier for a DJ to do it. Because first of all, with a band that size on the road, you had less room on the truck to put PA system. The DJs had all the room.
How literally do people construct these trucks? Are they just sitting down the whole year waiting to go and carry people on them to wind on the road?
The basic structure is this. You see what they call a low boy, a trailer that carries the heavy duty equipment that does construction.
A tractor.
Sometimes you see a tractor going on the road is on a low bed tray, right? You start with that. You clean it up, you build a frame. That frame is calculated for what PA you're going to use. And normally you just build that frame, whether it's that or 40-foot trailer, you build that frame, put a roof on it, and you fit your PA.
So there's coordination between the truck builder and the DJ or the band, whoever's using the speed.
Exactly.
When does all of this take place?
About 2 to 3 weeks before Carnival. All into the night is welding and,
And
correction.
why wait till then? Why are we all into the night? Is it just a fever? You like that?
No, because these same guys are doing about 20 other trucks. So they have to be doing this day and night to everybody. You don't trust your truck and the safety of your people in anybody. Just because somebody's a welder is not going to weld up something for you. You have to deal with guys who have done this before, who know that, in other words, the amount of people are going to be standing here, this amount of equipment is going to be here, this needs to be strapped here. So they do the construction with all this in mind. It's like they see the final product with all the problems to come with it, you know. So for safety's sake, you're going to deal with people who know what they're doing.
Some DJs and bands will actually get a truck or a trailer prepped already, which means the rail is up and everything is ready to go. Being in the business for so long, we choose to build our own trailer. So we get a trailer, which is, you want to see behind us, flat. There's nothing on it. And we go into the process of building our frame, which ensures that we know what we have in terms of the strength. Because on Monday and Tuesday, you're going to have people on the trailer. You're going to have a couple $1,000s worth of equipment on your trailer. You want to make sure that you're okay.
Earthquake, building shake, feel the vibes with the music make. Earthquake, building shake, music I make a dead man wake.
We then have to go through the process of applying to the police and the licensing authority to have the trailer on the road. So there's a special license being involved for having, one, the music on the road, this trailer, also the stipulated amount of people that's going to be licensed and insured to be on the road. And then once that is applied for, we then have to take the trailer down for the police to measure to make sure it's a stipulated height that we cannot cross, and also the trailer is roadworthy in terms of the tires, the brakes. They have a checklist that they go through. Once we get that, the license is now approved for us to go on the road. But it's a very short period of time where you're looking at Thursday, Carnival, Friday, and you're going to the road Monday and Tuesday. So you have to make sure you have everything in place so that one day when you're lined up in Port of Spain, getting measured, that nothing goes wrong.
Well, on Sunday, which is today, we do the final touches in terms of running the wires, hooking up, putting ply on top, because we had to put a tarpaulin if in case rain falls, you can't get the equipment wet.
We are one of the few DJs who still have a system. So it's not like some of the other DJs, they come up with their CDs and you play music. If something goes wrong, it's not your system and you don't do anything about it, so you can't touch it. The system is ours. We hook up the system ourselves, so we know every intimate detail of the system. So if anything goes wrong, we are responsible.
Get ready, stand by. Well, this is a showdown.
There's technical crew around the truck. There's technical crew around the generator. There's technical crew around the PA system. So if something is wrong with the PA, the guys will fix it on spot. If something's wrong with the generator, the guys will move between trucks, fix the generator. If something's wrong with the truck, the guys will come and they will jump start you, if necessary, by battery.
You'd never know that all of this was going on. I mean, as
Yeah.
a masquerader, you're walking on the truck there,
Yes,
music
and
coming.
any slight problem is, I want to play music now. People getting cussed, people getting vexed, but never knew that the pressures that go along.
Contrary to popular belief, most DJs don't make much money. There's a lot of expense. The trailers, the license, the generators, the expense going into getting your truck worthy. You know, people on the outside think it's a big check at the end of the 2 days. In a way, yes, but when you start to pay your bills, you start to ask yourself, was it really worth it? Especially if you came out with injuries such as speakers being blown or damaged or amplifiers giving trouble. You know, but in this business, I think the monetary part of it is secondary. You have to like what you're doing to do this. And we've been in it a long time, got a good crew, you know. We're more than friends now, we're more like a family. So we look forward to doing it every year.
What about, there are some bands which have started what seems to be further developments in this thing, synchronizing the music that is played on trucks.
Oh, wireless synchronizing it, yeah. It has its advantages. For instance, right, if you have a live band, maybe one live band, because what they do is sometimes one live band and DJs on the 2 trucks. So what will happen is the live band will play simultaneously to all 3 trucks, like through the band, and will rest after that and the DJ takes over. So in other words, whenever the band comes on, the band is at full energy, not tired of like most bands, maybe a Tuesday afternoon. So always at full energy, maybe play an hour, rest 2-3 hours, and then play again kind of situation, like a fete, so we'll have full energy. The downsides of it is, as a masquerader, again, you have to think of the audience as a masquerader. If I am listening to the band, or when the band is done, the DJ comes up, I want to listen to something else. No matter where I go in the band, that's all I'm hearing. There's no variety for me to listen to. And to me, that is the downside of it.
They want to hear what the DJs have to offer, hear what the bands have to offer. Challenge the DJ if you say that, say, okay, you let me see if you can make me jump up all day Monday and Tuesday. And I think it would be a little unfair to some DJs as well if you had one wireless one in the whole system. Therefore, you have to, in that case, you could hire less DJs. I think most Trinidadian DJs playing on the road is one of the penultimate things that they could do. And it wouldn't be fair, in my opinion, it wouldn't be fair to deny DJs that opportunity.
Clear the way, clear the way, clear the way for me. Clear the way, clear the way, clear the way for me. Clear the way, clear the way, clear the way for me. Clear the way, clear the way, clear the way for me. Oh, we coming down and
I remember being told and reading about the old time days and when Steel Band was the band on the road. And there would be clashes.
Yeah.
And one band come from one area another and you meet up and it's clash.
Still happens.
With the Steel Band?
I don't know what Steel Band. I guess maybe they do, but it happens with big trucks too.
Well, that's what I want to find out. These are big trucks.
Whether it's DJ, even live bands, it happens. It's all about respect.
What is the code of ethics?
Two trucks cross, either you dip, you blow, or you get blown out. If you know, in other words, if you know the truck coming at you, opposite direction, is a more powerful truck than you turn down your volume. Respect, you bow, let them pass. If you think you want to challenge them, you go for it and blow them away.
Really?
With
power?
Yeah, with pure power. In other words, at that point in time, every amp on your truck is in the red. Sometimes amps get blown, speakers get blown, but it's a respect,
So at what point do you realize, oh boy, I get blew out, boy?
If you're hearing his truck in your truck and you are maxed at power and you're still hearing his music, trust me, crank down your arms and just bow to him and tell him, apologize, respect.
Yeah.
But anytime you're still hearing your music and you can't hear his music, just keep pumping. He'll have to go down eventually.
But it's a friendly rivalry.
Bottle
and thing pelting like
No. No, it's two trucks are watching each other. You have the text, everybody cranking up and watching and big smiles on their face, And then when it happens, you'll hear the honk, honk, and respect, just over respect.
Just like in parties where you have different DJs playing in several parties and they try to outdo each other, the same thing applies on the road Monday and Tuesday where all the work we put in to the preparation of the truck really determines who we're going to meet on the road Monday and Tuesday and what we could offer them.
Out on the road, a DJ always try to outdo another. If we see a DJ pass and we think we could run through the system, we give him some action. If not, well, we just bow down and allow him to pass. Come Ash Wednesday, we take all the talk. We give all the talk that we have to give.
Over the years, we have proven to be one of the few trucks that, in Trini terms, can handle stories. We've proven it every year. And the reason why every year we tend to change the structure of the truck in terms of the boxes and what we use is to keep that edge on the road Monday and Tuesday. There are several other DJs out on the road that when we meet out of pure respect, we will pull down or vice versa. But there are also some of those that we have to, in a way, teach a lesson and let them know that this is a big man's game.
Think of it. A driver is driving a truck with tons of equipment and people and their safety at maybe 0.5 miles per hour for 2 days, without jerking you every 10 seconds. People don't give him their respect. The guys who construct it. So, there's a lot of people behind the scenes that people don't know about. That goes, makes up that big truck scenario. That Hong Kong is respected.
Ride the truck, mama, and jump up. Ride the truck, mama, and jump up. Ride the truck, mama, and jump up. I said, ride the truck, mama, and jump up. Big truck.
Last year for Carnival, first time I played me and me woman on the trailer truck, and we taking in the grass. It's all walks of life, whining in the hot sun. If you hear them shout, It make me realize for all these years what I was missing.
So you decide to play mass. You find the band, choose the perfect section, pay, collect, and play a mass. That's the perfect, fun, exhilarating side of Carnival for you. But to the men and women behind the masquerade, whether as a hobby or a way of life, producing a mass band is akin to running a business. There's a product to conceptualize, produce, cost, market, sell, and distribute, hopefully earning a profit at the end of the day.
Mass is still kind of tribal thing where people play according to the group or where their friends play and stuff like that. So you may say, hello, I'm going to start a band. I think I have enough people, you know, and when they say to you, well, okay, let's go. And you figure, well, yes, I play. They don't already play, you know. So you have to decide somewhere along the line how much I'm making fun. A lot of people have lost their shirts in the first and second endeavor. You have to have the determination and the will to do that.
Look the tribe coming, put up on no hands up, look the tribe coming, get ready to jump up, look the tribe coming, people start to jump, down, jump up in the band, make way for the big tribe band, jump up, I want to see.
Bringing out a band has been an idea that we had for a couple of years. We felt at the time, 2005, the time was right to bring out the band. But we did have our reservations. As much as we felt that the market was ready for it, we did our research. Masqueraders said, yes, listen, bring out a band. We fed up of what there's to offer. We want something different. We want a new concept. Even though we were getting that kind of feedback from people, we still had our reservations, because the point is, you're bringing out a band with a couple thousand people, hopefully. You're gonna have to put out a lot of money.
From there, we pulled together some business people, some business partners, people that experienced in the mass industry, in the mass design, and we came out with Tribe. A bigger task than we thought at first, definitely.